Thanks everybody for coming today. I want to get an update on a shooting that occurred last night. We were dispatched probably just before 11 o'clock last night into a shooting at the 2000 block of Racine Street in Marrero, Louisiana, where a 9-year-old was reported to have accidentally shot himself in the head. The child was actually transported to West Jeff Hospital by private conveyance by the family members at the location. And was learned at that time that he was in the room with an 18-year-old cousin. Investigation on the scene by the coroner's office and our detectives realized that some things were not adding up in reference to the location of the ballistics of the bullet travel, addition to the location of the gunshot to the head itself, that it was very unlikely that he had actually shot himself, whether it was accidentally or intentionally. We had began questioning the cousin, who is Thomas, 18-year-old male who also lives at that same location. After several different stories, Mr. Thomas actually did admit that the 9-year-old was playing with the gun. In a playful manner, was trying to disarm him of that gun, and the gun ended up discharging at that time, striking his cousin in the head, which ended up being fatal for the 9-year-old cousin. We had received that confession from him last night. He has since been booked with negligent homicide, obstruction of justice, and possession of marijuana. He had actually taken the gun after the fact and panicked, is what he says, and disposed of it. He has given us a location where we believe the gun will possibly be, and we're actively in that location looking for it now. I'll take any questions at this point in time.
So the boy was shot while the cousin was trying to take the gun away from him?
Correct. Supposedly the 9-year-old was playing with the gun, had the gun in his own hands. The 18-year-old was trying to disarm it, is the way he clarifies it, as he was trying to disarm it, and the gun discharged at that moment in time and struck the 9-year-old in the head.
Does that better fit the ballistics, or you think he might have accidentally
I think that was
it?
more realistic to what from the original stories. It was probably very unlikely that it was a self-inflicted gunshot wound, and it made more sense of what it was. Doesn't seem there were several relatives at the house. Didn't seem like there was any argument going on from an intentional matter for what we were able to determine from our investigation. We obviously spoke with the commissioner's office last night and obtained the arrest warrant for the negligent homicide and the additional charges of obstruction of justice, and there was also possession of marijuana. There's some marijuana in the room also.
And he's charged with negligent homicide. Can you explain how the law applies to this situation?
Well, negligent homicide is when a homicide of any person is committed under negligent circumstances. It's not an intentional act. We don't believe that in this case. We'll continue to conduct interviews, but after interviewing the subjects that were on the scene, we believe that this was the appropriate charge.